Welcome to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, a show all about reviewing dinosaurs on a scale of 1 to 10 fossils before only the elite terrible lizards make it into the prehistoric cage match. This program is presented by the Stomp Chomp Roar Company and can be heard within all the rock layers across the planet. Grab your dinosaurs and your official scorecard because it's now time to dig for dinosaurs. Here's your Mesozoic host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony.
Top of the long necks, my dinosaur climbers. This is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, your ultimate host for the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Now it's time for the most important meal of the day, and that's right, it's breakfast. What is your guys' favorite kind of breakfast cereal? Right here, I've got my bowl of Oreo O's, my spoon-shaped sauropod tooth, because you guys, this is the best tooth. Do you guys think sauropods use their spoon-shaped teeth to eat all kinds of breakfast cereal? I hope they're Oreo O's. Well, you guys, this tooth right here is a Camarasaurus tooth. To be extinct, I mean to be exact, not extinct, because the dinosaurs all died and they're extinct, but it was exactly a Camarasaurus tooth. Well, anyway, you guys, I've got my favorite bowl of Oreo O's sitting right here. Well, you guys, today's podcast is all about a true sauropod dinosaur, a true long neck type dinosaur, unlike last week's podcast when we talked about that small sauropodomorph. But before we do our dinosaur review, let's update you guys on some dinopreneur news. I even got my banana right here, my T-Rex shaped tooth banana. We'll set those aside because it's time for some dinopreneur news. Now you guys, Camp Stomp Chomp Roar, my virtual summer camp was last week, and I want to thank you all my junior campers who joined me throughout the week. It was an absolute blast. I truly had one of the best times of my Stomp Chomp Roar journey. It's just an amazing time, you guys. And not only did I have campers all across the United States, but across the world. It was just like we were living in Jurassic's world. You guys see what I did there? Well, guys, thank you to Anastasia, Camden, Canyon, Cecilia, Dominic, Ernest, Leroy, Kingsley, Penelope, Lincoln, Mattia, Rowan, and Wyatt. You guys are truly awesome. And thank you to the rest of my junior dinosaur rangers who might have rewatched my recordings, my camp recordings on my Patreon club later on. Now, you guys, a quick podcast update. I'm up to 9,014 downloads. Totally awesome. I would never believe. It's not a huge number, but it is a big number. 9,000 downloads. So my goal is 10,000 by the end of July. So here just a couple weeks, I hope that we get up to 10,000 podcast downloads. So help spread the word of your favorite dinosaur podcast. Tell your friends all about the Dinosaur Review for Kids. Now you guys, this Monday, July 18th on my Patreon club, I'll be releasing the official Stomp Chomp Roar Dinosaur Research Guide. And this is a 14-plus page research guide, and it's truly dynamite. So go ahead and become a junior dinosaur ranger so you can access the printable Stomp Chomp Roar Dinosaur Research Guide. I made it myself. It was lots and lots of hard work, and you guys can print that off and make your own dinosaur research guide with tons of fact sheets, all kinds of activities, and so much more. Now let me give you guys a little bit more information about my Stomp Chomp Roar Patreon club if you're thinking about joining. So for only $5 a month, you can become a Triassic Squad member. I have 3 tiers, and the first one is called the Triassic Squad. Now this gets you 1 virtual lesson a month and all the exclusive posts that I do throughout the month, plus a discount at my store, a video message for your birthday, and so much more. Now for $10 a month, tier number 2, this one is called the Fossil Hunters. So they're the Fossil Hunter members. Now this one includes 2 virtual lessons a month, plus the Donuts and Dinosaurs monthly meeting, and all kinds of exclusive content and everything the first Triassic Squad members get. Now lastly, for $20 a month, this is the top tier. This one is called the Raptor Pack. Now to be a Raptor Pack member, you get everything that the first 2 tiers get. You get both virtual lessons a month. You get the Donuts and Dinosaurs dinosaurs, you get the discount at the store, you get the video birthday message, and you also get the Paleo Pen Pal activity. And this is a monthly letter that I send to you straight to your mailbox, filled with some activities, a private personal letter from Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and a couple other things in your envelope. And on your first month, you guys, you get the actual official Stomp Chomp Roar badge lanyard. So you'll get that in the mail as a welcome gift for month number 1. And thank you to my Raptor Pack members currently in California, Florida, Iowa, Maryland, Ohio, and New Jersey. I've got 6 Raptor Pack members, and thank you guys all for being so awesome. But all my Patreon kiddos are totally awesome, so thank you guys, all 22 of you, for being so amazing and supporting me and my small business. Now, you guys, let's do a few shout-outs before we get started today. An extra shout-out to the Bellevue Public Library. We went and visited them last Saturday, you guys. We did our first outdoor prehistoric pep rally, and it was amazing. The crowd was great, the weather was awesome, and I just had so much fun. Now, shout out to Primrose La Vista. We went and visited their preschool on Monday, and you guys, Primrose is one of the best childcare franchises in town. I just always have such a great time every time I visit a Primrose school. Now, you guys, shout out to Yellow Brick Road Childcare of Bennington. We went and visited those kiddos yesterday. They're school-age kids. We just had a great time teaching them all about dinosaurs and prehistoric life. Then, you guys, Monday and Tuesday of this week, I got back on the OutSchool platform. So during June, my schedule was just so busy that I wasn't able to do any virtual lessons on OutSchool. So this week on Monday and Tuesday, I did my first junior paleontologist training course for the month, and I just had an absolute blast. I always have so much fun doing these on OutSchool, and I had 15 amazing learners that joined me for this, and a bunch of them, you guys. It was just jam-packed full of fun. So Elena, Charlie, Chase, CJ, Emiliano, Ethan, Joseph, Justin, Kayla, Kemper, Owen, Pranav, Serenity, and Victor, thank you guys for joining me this week. Now, you guys, shout out to La Petite Academy of Bellevue. I'll be visiting those all those kiddos later on this morning, and then tomorrow on Thursday, I'll be out at Millard Kindercare, and I'm super excited for this one, you guys, because Junior Ranger Cecilia, my oldest daughter, she actually went to this childcare back in 2013 when she was only 4 years old. So this one will be really special, I know for sure. And then shout out to the Durham Museum. I'll be out at their Fossil Fridays this Friday from 10 a.m. till noon. I'll do my fossil show at 11 a.m. And if you're here in the Omaha, Nebraska area, come out and say hello to me. I'll be at the Durham Museum every Friday in the rest of July from 10 a.m. to noon. So you guys, let's go ahead and grab our cereal, grab our sauropod spoons, grab our T-Rex shaped bananas, and our scorecards, because it's time for today's gigantic species. It's time for our next dinosaur review, and it's finally time for the Brachiosaurus. So let's go ahead and pull open my scorecard, everybody, so we can get on to this gigantic review. And remember, you guys can always print these off on my website. Just go to stompchomproar.com and click on that Science Lab tab. So here we are, everybody, the Dinosaur Review for Kids review on the Brachiosaurus. You guys, it is finally here. Did you guys think I forgot about the Brachiosaurus? I did not, and here we go. So the Brachiosaurus is the name of the dinosaur. That is our genus, our species, and the meaning of Brachiosaurus is arm lizard. Again, arm lizard, because it has arms, or maybe because its front legs or its arms are as big as its back legs. And if you think about it, most dinosaurs' back legs are bigger than their front legs, but not the Brachiosaurus, and that's why its name is the arm lizard. So what is the dinosaur order for our Brachiosaurus, everybody? This is a Saurischian type dinosaur. It's lizard-hipped. Then it's a sauropod. Those are the long-necked herbivores members, and then it falls in that Brachiosaurids family. So Saurischia, sauropod, Brachiosaurid. Now, how big was this dinosaur? If I grab this toy right here, look how big this Brachiosaurus is. It is just ginormous. My Brachiosaurus toy from Mattel. It is totally one of my favorites, you guys. And he's just so big, it's so hard to get this one in the camera for the entire show. So we'll leave him here just for the size portion. How big was this dinosaur? How big was our Brachiosaurus? Its length, its height, its weight? Well, Brachiosaurus is up to 85 feet long, or 26 meters, up to 40 to 50 feet high, that's 12 to 16 meters, and up to 100,000 pounds. That is just ginormous. And did you guys think I weigh 100,000 pounds? No, that's our Brachiosaurus, everyone. So again, our Brachiosaurus is up to 85 feet long, or 26 meters, 40 to 50 feet high, 12 to 16 meters, and 100,000 pounds. So our Brachiosaurus could reach its long necks up into skyscrapers that might be 4 or 5 stories tall. So just a ginormous size for our Brachiosaurus. Now, how fast was this dinosaur? As you guys can guess, it's probably pretty slow, being so large, weighing so much. So our Brachiosaurus is commonly coming in at about 6 to 10 miles per hour as they're walking on that quadrupedal stance, which means they're walking on all 4 legs. So what are the weapons, defense, and characteristics of our Brachiosaurus, our arm lizard? So the Brachiosaurus is a long-necked dinosaur with longer front legs than its back legs. So it has somewhat of a giraffe-like stance. So when you see a giraffe today at maybe the zoo, that is how our Brachiosaurus looked. They have longer front legs than their back legs, and that's why they're the arm lizard. They've got that really long neck for reaching up into the trees. Let's talk about their skull a little bit, their head. The Brachiosaurus has a small head with 52 spoon-shaped teeth, just like the one I have here in my dinosaur lab. 26 teeth on the bottom, 26 teeth up on the top. Now they have a large nasal opening. Their nose is almost like up on their forehead. It's not in the front of them like we see on other creatures. It's up on the forehead. They have got the silly nose up there so that when they sneeze, it just goes flying up into the sky. Or maybe it's so that they can continue eating, always chomping in to the conifer bristles, and they're not going to start sneezing when all those pine needles start tickling their noses. Well, you guys, the Brachiosaurus ate conifers, all those pine needles, at the top of the trees. They're eating up there towards the canopy, and they have very poor jaw muscles. So their jaw muscles are not very well developed, not very strong, and that's causing them to swallow all the vegetation whole. They're swallowing all those pine needles whole. Can you guys eat those pine needles? No? What if you dip them in ranch? Would you be able to eat the pine needles then? Maybe dip them in ranch like a carrot? Well, anyway, you guys, our Brachiosaurus swallowed those pine needles whole, and what they did is they actually swallowed rocks, or what we call gastroliths, and those rocks went down inside their gizzards, and it helped them be able to digest the food. The rocks would jumble around the food, and it would kind of break pieces apart and everything, and that helps their digestive system be able to digest all kinds of food as they're eating it. Their 52 spoon-like teeth rake all those pine needles right off the branches, and they swallow them whole. So our Brachiosaurus, let's talk about their feet. They've got 5-toed feet with a fleshy-like pad, and they actually have a toe claw. So the Brachiosaurus has a toe claw on their front feet, and on their back feet, they actually have 3 claws on the first, second, and third toe. Now their skin is kind of like a leathery-like skin, maybe a little pebbly-like. No feathers on our sauropods, including Brachiosaurus, and they believe that they could even live up to be maybe 100 years old, just like some of the oldest humans that live around today. Now, the Brachiosaurus egg, everybody, is kind of the shape of a small ball, maybe a small watermelon. It's a sphere, a perfect circle, and it's up to 7 inches in diameter. Now, they could lay at a nest, they believe, of about 15 to 40 different eggs, a clutch of eggs, 15 to 40 eggs in a nest. And the more eggs, the better, and that's going to help provide so that the Brachiosaurus can live on into the future. future, everybody. Now, since they have round eggs, they probably would have buried them more into the sediment, into the nest, whereas theropods who have more of those oval-shaped eggs, they're able to sit on top of the ground. They're not going to roll away like a circle-shaped egg or a sphere-shaped egg would do. Now, what about those hearts? Brachiosaurus, you guys, just has the biggest heart, just like Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. But the Brachiosaurus has a big heart to be able to pump all kinds of blood up to their head, up that huge long neck. All those blood vessels are going to pump blood all the way up to the neck, you guys, and be able to support the brain and make the brain be able to function for our Brachiosaurus that it can live for maybe up to that 100 years we talked about. Now, there's no water living for our Brachiosaurus. We always see all kinds of pictures from the past where maybe the Brachiosaurus used its nose on its forehead like a snorkel in the water, or maybe their bodies are just so heavy they need the water to help them walk around. Well, you guys, there's no evidence of that. We find sauropod fossils and trace fossils where water wouldn't have been a long time ago, and they believe that the water actually would have done more harm to the body than good. So no water living for our Brachiosaurus. They would have been living in the forest, reaching up into those conifer trees, getting all kinds of pine needles. Now our Brachiosaurus has a short, thick tail, and maybe they could even use it to whip a little bit. Right here, I have my baby Brachiosaurus in my dinosaur lab. Just a little baby toy right here. Has that short, thick tail, you guys. Maybe they could use it somewhat of a whip, kind of like maybe we see in our Diplodocus. But our Brachiosaurus, you guys, also lived in herds, and they migrated for food. And a way we know they migrated is because we find stones, these pink rocks, over in like Montana and Wyoming. And the rocks actually traveled from Wisconsin to Wyoming. So since we know those rocks, they moved distance, they traveled, they were gastroless. So they went in the dinosaur, maybe our sauropods in Wisconsin. The sauropods traveled to Wyoming, and then they pooped them out, coproless. And they left those stones right there in Wyoming, Montana. So we know that they're able to migrate across the land looking for all kinds of food. Now, you guys, the herd is really going to be protected of them, and also the size. Those are their greatest defenses. Now, where did this dinosaur live, and how long did this species live during the Mesozoic era, the age of the dinosaurs? So the Brachiosaurus, everybody, is coming in at 156 to 145 million years ago during that late Jurassic period, and it was found in western North America and also in Tanzania. Now, it was found back in 1900 in the Grand River Valley of western Colorado, so just a little bit further away from me. I'm in Nebraska, the state to the east of Colorado, so very close to where they found our Brachiosaurus. I could get there in a day's drive. Now, it was named back in 1903 by Elmer S. Riggs. So thank you, Elmer, for naming our Brachiosaurus the arm lizard. So you guys, a quick recap. Our Brachiosaurus, up to 85 feet long, 50 feet high, 100,000 pounds, running up to speeds up to 10 miles an hour, a very long neck with that giraffe-like stance, a small head with spoon-shaped teeth, their nose is on their forehead, unlike other dinosaurs, they've got 5-toed feet with that fleshy pad, the thumb claws, they've got a very big heart, you guys, they could live to be about 100 years old, and they had that leathery-like skin before they also live in some kind of a herd, a pack system. They're living in their herd, they're migrating in their herd, they're having nesting grounds down in their herd. We see that down in Argentina and South America, those sauropod nesting grounds. So what are we going to give our Brachiosaurus on the official fossil scale? What is going to be the score for this gigantic arm lizard? You guys, this was very, very hard. At the end of the day, I felt confident enough. I'm going to give our Brachiosaurus, drum roll, you guys. It is going to be a 9.0. 9.0 for our famous Brachiosaurus, the arm lizard, one of the most famous sauropods that ruled the land. A 9.0 for our Brachiosaurus. What do you guys think about that? A 9.0, is that a great score for our Brachiosaurus or what? Well, you guys, this review was very tough, and I almost gave the Brachiosaurus a 9.4, almost. almost gave it a 9.4, which would have been the best score ever given out on the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. But after consulting with Dinosaur Ranger Elise, my wife, we concluded that even though the T-Rex probably wouldn't be able to fight or take down a full-grown Brachiosaurus, that the Brachiosaurus also probably couldn't defeat a T-Rex. So 9.0 it is for our Brachiosaurus. Anyway, go Team Herbivore! Now, the Brachiosaurus has always been one of my favorites since I met Littlefoot back in the early 90s in the Land Before Time. This species was a perfect to round out my top 40 episodes of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Now, you guys, this weekend my family and I will be going out to Lake McConaughey out in western Nebraska, and I'm hoping to find some marine fossils along the beach. So go ahead and wish me luck. But before we log off for today, what is as big as the Brachiosaurus but weighs nothing? That's our joke for the day. What's as big as a Brachiosaurus but weighs nothing? The Brachiosaurus, remember, 100,000 pounds. What's as big as a Brachiosaurus but weighs nothing? It's Shadow, you guys! It's Shadow cast from the sun. Weighs nothing, but it's big as it is. Well, you guys remember, guess what, everyone? The stage is set. The next prehistoric cage match is the Brachiosaurus versus the Giganotosaurus. This is going to be a matchup for the ages. Prehistoric cage match number 4 is on its way next week. I cannot wait to get this one in the history books, you guys. And listen to this. What do you guys think about this? After we find out our 4th champion for the prehistoric cage match, we'll have 4 different winners. I think I'm going to do an episode where we have all 4 champions face off in an ultimate tournament of the dinosaur champions to find out the undisputed prehistoric cage match champion. Would you guys like to see all 4 prehistoric cage match winners face off in one huge battle? I think it would be truly awesome. Well, you guys, my name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and as always, keep digging for dinosaurs!
Wow!